House Minority Leader John Boehner was asked by reporters to offer specifics on how the GOP would do all that and still balance the budget and cut the deficit.
I don't have all of the solutions, but I believe that if we work with the American people will want to work with us to come to grips with these challenges that face our country. And it's about having that adult conversation in an honest, open way that'll help get us the answers to lay out the plan that will solve this problem once and for all.
Congressman Bill Cassidy is a physician and a Republican from Louisiana who was a key member of today's rollout. Congressman, as you know, going into this, there were Republicans who thought it wasn't a good idea to do this. I didn't hear any specifics there from John Boehner. I've read through this pledge. I don't see a lot of specifics there. Can you tell us how specifically you are going to cut spending, how Republicans are going to make these changes? Because I didn't see them in there.
Chris, one thing we can say about tort reform, for example, because one of the key things of what we're doing is tort reform. The Congressional Budget Office says that will save $54 billion over 10 years. Now, that is a specific that actually has a CBO score that we would attempt to implement that would have basically an immediate impact. The second thing I can say
is... Where are the changes in entitlement programs? Where are the mentions of the costs of the war in Afghanistan and Iraq and how...
Let me start with the entitlement programs. Okay. I was struck that the day after the president signed the bill regarding the health care bill, his co-chairman of his Presidential Commission on the Debt got on TV and said the problem with our debt indebtedness is health care entitlements. Now, this is the day after we supposedly passed a bill that took care of the issue. So the first thing you do is you don't make the problem worse. Think about it. We just took the savings from Medicare, and instead of shoring up Medicare, we've invested it into a third entitlement program. We took Medicaid, which is bankrupting states, and we greatly expanded it, and somehow we're going to create this third entitlement, which rescues the first two. Well, the first thing you do is you go back to basics and you say you use the savings from programs to shore up programs, not to create a third entitlement when it's entitlements that are getting us into trouble.
Is that the money is that enough money to make a difference? Don't some hard decisions have to be made about things like Social Security? Don't some hard decisions have to be made about supporting the troops and spending the money that we're spending on the wars?
Clearly hard decisions have to be made, and I think John Boehner was saying that we will make those hard decisions, but it has to be in participation with the American people. I think the American people are tired of being told from on high what they should and should not do.
Isn't that a cop-out? With all due respect, Congressman, if you're going to say, here's our pledge, don't you have to say, here specifically is what we pledge to do? Don't say, American people, I know you elected us to find answers, but we're waiting for you to give us the answers.
Well, let me repeat what I said earlier. One of the specifics we had is tort reform, which is just for the federal program, saves $54 billion. The second specific is that we do not implement a third entitlement, which further aggravates our problems of entitlements. The third thing I would say is we would take the savings that were going to be invested in the third entitlement and instead use it to shore up the entitlements that we start with. Those are pretty specific, and we could build upon those for even longer-term benefit.